You good to go?
Good to go. Let's do it.
All right, man. Andrew Keys, thanks so much for coming on.
Well, thanks for having me, man.
So let's dive right into it. Let's tell us a little bit about yourself. You're originally from Ontario.
Yeah, born in Ottawa, Ontario. Then moved with my grandparents when I was like 3 on their butcher shop in like outskirts of Brantford, like near Wilsonville. So I grew up on their butcher shop for 10, 12 years. Moved back to Ottawa. Went to high school there. Finished off culinary school at Algonquin. Cooked in New York for a hot second, and then started bartending downtown Ottawa when I was like 20. And then bartended on Elgin Street, a place called Datsun, for like 2 years. And then kind of followed. I met my mentor there who taught me how to bartend, but he's originally from Halifax. So then I just kind of followed him out here when I was like 22, 21. And then just started bartending in the city everywhere. And yeah, that's how I kind of got to Halifax, just following my mentor who taught me how to bartend.
Crazy. I didn't even know that you had some culinary experience. So what kind of drove you to move from the culinary kind of industry into the bar industry?
Well, I started cooking when I was like pretty young, like 14 in kitchens. So I did that, like cooked for like 6 years, and just kind of it's a pretty early age to start like working in fast-paced kitchens. It's like good experience, but definitely catches up to you very quickly. So there's like a lot of stress going on in my life, and then I was like, hey, like I'm tired of working the long hours, so I took like a little step back from the restaurant industry in general, and then I worked for my uncle with like on his farm for like a year, and then an old server I used to work with when I was cooking was like, hey, there's new restaurants opening up. Do you want to be like a bar back like twice a week? I'm like, yeah, sure, fuck it, like extra cash. And then I slowly started like, and I was also in marketing. I was going to marketing school at Algonquin, thinking I was going to get a marketing gig, but the restaurant scene always has a way of pulling you back in. And then in this case, I took a liking to the bar. That's where I met my mentor, Matt Boyle. And I just like every night I would punch out and then just start working behind the bar for free to learn. And then I remember one day I was bussing like a table, and I guess he cut his finger, and he's like, Andrew, like, do you remember all the cocktails? And I was like, put me in, coach.
That was your chance.
That was my chance. And then
right
I bartended for like 4 hours, and then the next day I dropped out of school and just started bartending after that.
So dropped out of school altogether, eh?
After that shift, I went to Algonquin, and I was like, I'm done.
And you just knew then that this is what you wanted to pursue.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, it just kind of worked out, because if I never started bartending, I wouldn't have came to Halifax.
So what year did you move here?
2017. I came down for like a cocktail competition called Made with Love.
Oh, wow.
And then I I moved down. I'm like, okay, if I don't qualify for this competition, because there's like 3 rounds. The first round is like, if you qualify, you go to the regionals, and there's nationals. But if I didn't qualify for that, I probably wouldn't have stayed. I'd probably been like, fuck this. Like, I probably got discouraged.
Right.
And then, but yeah, so I qualified for the next round. I went to the regionals in Halifax. But yeah, so that's what kind of made me stay, and like kind of brought me out here.
Amazing. That's awesome. And for a fun fact for some people, we both, and I've probably said it a few times on my podcast, or at least some of the ones coming up, we train jiu-jitsu together.
Yeah.
We have a pretty solid community there, and that's kind of where we met. And, we also had a work experience together, because my wife and I hired you to bartend our wedding, which was super cool.
That was a fun night,
right?
Like, yeah. Where was that again? That was
this is in Lawrencetown, down in the valley. It was Beaver Creek Winery. If anybody wants to check it out, I think they've since sold it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think we were one of the last weddings that they did. They were an older couple. They were pretty vocal about wanting to get kind of retired and get out of it.
They're very nice too. Yeah,
they're the best kind of people. Yeah. One was from Newfoundland, the other one's from Cape Breton. I mean, you can't get better people.
Exactly, like the very East Coast hospitality right there.
Yeah. So that was awesome. So are you doing much kind of one-off gigs these days? Or?
I know I mostly I'm still open to the one-off gigs, but I'm mostly for event bartending. I work for the Clever Barkeep.
Right.
So that's Matt Boyle, who taught me how to bartend, and Jeff Van Horn. They own the Clever Barkeep, and they also own Dear Friend on Portland Street.
Right. So right across from my lawyer.
Oh, really? Yeah. So that's
Bailey and Associates.
Yeah. That's their cocktail bar, but first came the Clever Barkeep, the event consulting company. So I work for them. Like, I do a lot of events in the summer. Just did one last weekend. They also just opened up a canned cocktail company called Drink Barkeep kind of thing. So they're doing like a canning line.
Oh, wow.
So look out for their espresso martinis that are gonna hopefully
Espresso martinis.
yeah in a can. It's crazy. Yeah. So so I do one-off gigs like, but not mostly. It's working for them doing the events. So. But if someone if one of our friends asked to bartend like a wedding kind of like your size, I'd grab a couple bartenders and go out and do it.
Yeah, because it was Mona
And Lauren, yeah.
And Lauren, yeah, they were super cool. I mean, I was definitely a few sheets to the wind, but
yeah, no, I think by the end, we were just pouring shots everywhere, and everyone was having a good time. So it was the best kind of it panned out the best way like a bartender could picture a wedding panning out.
Good.
So thank you for having us, and it was fun for us as well.
Well, man, that's awesome, and I mean, I appreciate it. I mean, we want the thing that we wanted was everybody to have like a seamlessly great experience. So that's why we got the band. I was like, you know what, it's gonna be more, but I was like, my buddy Andrew's bartender, let's hire him and his crew, and it was a really seamless experience for everyone, especially where. It was kind of the first time that we were allowed to reopen since the pandemic.
Yeah.
So not only did we want to have a great wedding, we wanted to have all our guests have a super good time because it was probably the first time a lot of people had got out.
Absolutely. I think it was the first event that we got to do without restrictions or masks or anything.
Well, they still wanted us to wear them.
I mean, we wore them, but not when we were doing shots and drinking, so.
By the 5th hour or 11th hour,
no one gave a shit.
Nobody gave a shit, right? But it was awesome, and we had a couple signature drinks too. We had the mezcal agua santa margarita.
Yeah, the mezcal margarita.
And then we had the old fashioned.
Yeah, we had a what bourbon we used? I think it was Buffalo Trace.
Yeah, Buffalo Trace
old
bourbon.
fashioned.
Shout out to Joe Rogan.
Because
he loves that shit.
Yeah, I know. That's funny.
Man, no, that was a great experience. So for anybody that wants to hire him out, I'm sure he's
absolutely
open to it. So, so switching gears again, just where we're a little bit want to call on your experience, kind of living out in Ontario versus Halifax, and the hot topic still real estate.
Yes, of course.
I was just kind of thinking, and kind of contrast of you being from Ontario, moving here to Halifax to pursue your interests. How's that experience been? Has it been an enjoyable one? Has it been positive?
I mean, it was moving out to a new city where I literally didn't know. I only knew I barely a handful of people. But luckily East Coast hospitality with even just my friend Matt, who taught me to bartend, introduced me to the whole bartending community, which is great. Right when I moved here, I was living on a couch. And then finally got an apartment, which was kind of shitty. And then, you kind of work your way up moving to a new city, which was kind of a part of the experience moving to a new city. Then now, obviously, I'm definitely more situated after 5 years, have the house in Dartmouth and opening the bar, work for Mezcal agua santa and stuff. But I would think it was the main thing I noticed from living in Ottawa and no offense, Ottawa, or even Ontario in general is you always hear about East Coast hospitality, and you have to literally come here and you can experience it by visiting for sure, but you really experience it coming from another province and then getting living here, and you really I think I've taken on some of East Coast hospitality as well by living here for 5 years.
So you kind of absorb some of that and kind of the way you kind of present yourself out to
exactly
to the community.
But right when I moved here, I was I definitely. The way of how I thought about hospitality has changed a lot too. Maybe there was a little a lot of people in the hospitality industry in Ottawa, because I worked there for so long, can be a little jaded a bit, or chip on their shoulder.
Okay.
And but again, lovely industry there, but totally different out here. And we're getting the food and drinks in here is just getting better and better, and I'm glad to be a part of it because we have some of the best restaurants in Canada, in my opinion, for how small we are as a city or province. Some of the best bartenders, even Bar Kismet just got best, I think, within a year or within the past year, best new restaurant and bar in Canada.
I've seen that, yeah.
Yeah. You haven't checked out Bar Kismet, it's one of my favorite places in Halifax to go eat. So, but yeah, no, it's just, and even just right when I came here, I used to go to Bar Kismet as like a broke bartender and just like spend the last of my money like just hanging out at Bar Kismet, learning about different cocktails, trying the food, and just like, you know.
Man, I think there's a lot to be said for that. I mean, and I think it's a message, and I'm glad you kind of said it. It's because a lot of people, I think they come somewhere and they want to start out, and they want to start out kind of up here, where sometimes you got to realize, like, you might have to live on someone's couch for a minute.
Yeah, exactly. And
You
like
know?
even like a year, like when in between, like, you know, because we're opening up Palm Tree and it's like we're almost there, but in the meantime, like I was like, you know, doing the Agua Santa thing, but I was like dishwashing at Highwayman just to like, you know, make extra money. Like I was bartending a bit as well, but like, you know, mostly working in the kitchen like during prep, and then at night I'd dishwash. It's like even after, you know, going from like head bartender at Lot 6 or, you know, wherever in the city, like, you know, you should never forget where you started from. Like you shouldn't be like, I'm not going to dishwash. It's like, you know, so yeah, exactly. Like even if you are established and, you know, there's no shame in like going and making some extra money dishwashing, or like going as a bar back, even though you were a bar manager, right? It's just like, yeah, I let go of the ego, especially.
Yeah,
So,
you got to check it for sure. I think it's like, it's definitely something to be said. Like, you got to just be open to gaining experience.
yeah, no matter where that experience is, like,
Exactly.
or what it is, but
That's awesome. So a couple things. What would like 3 things be that you think that Halifax does best?
does best. Drinking.
Yeah,
No.
we got the most bars per capita, I think.
Well, no,
Or is Newfoundland still a win?
George Street.
Okay,
I was
George
just
Street
there.
still
That was
wins.
a whirlwind. Oh,
Yeah,
Jesus.
I've been there a few times too.
You've been on George Street?
Yeah, well, I think so.
Yeah, you definitely, yeah. Yeah, me too, yeah. But no, again, hospitality, I think I'm going to probably stay in like the hospitality lane because that's how.
Yeah,
I
so,
know.
sorry, I put you on the spot.
No, but also like, you know, our jiu-jitsu community too. Like,
Yeah, love jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like, you know, it's like going to Halifax BJJ, so welcoming. Just the team there. Like, I think, you know, there's a lot of jiu-jitsu gyms where I used to go to in Ottawa. Like, they're great, but like coming, starting up at Halifax BJJ, like the camaraderie that we all have there is awesome. So jiu-jitsu, hospitality, and just like how accessible, I say nature, but like, you know, you can be downtown and you could fuck off half an hour and you're at the beach, or go to Cape Breton or whatever the case is. Like, there's so many beautiful spots around here.
Yeah, man, I think a lot of people take it for granted. Like, you know, I've seen a lot of people in the past be like, oh, I'm bored. It's like, man, have you opened your eyes? There's so many things to do in this city.
Well, that's what you hear a lot too. Like when I first came here, everyone's like, oh, some people will be like, oh, I want to leave the city because I grew up here. Like, and you're like, coming from, you know, Ontario, you're like, why would you do that? What, you want to go to Ontario? like, but no, it's just, of course, like when you grow up in somewhere, like, you know, it probably does get redundant and maybe boring.
Lost
like,
in translation there somewhere. You're so focused on your day to day.
But like, it's definitely a lot easier to get bored of Ontario than here, I bet.
Yeah.
Like, so
On the flip side, are there any things that you miss about like Ontario? Like, is there products or services that maybe aren't available here because of our population? I mean, we're continually growing. That might change, but
I mean, I guess being I miss being very close to like my grandparents' butcher shop and
the family.
Yeah, going there and like, you know, if I worked like a busy week at downtown Ottawa, I would like, if I had like 2 days off, I'd drive 6 hours to Southern Ontario and hang out at the butcher shop for a couple of days, help my grandpa skin some deer and like, you know, help out in the butcher shop and then come back because it's like a farm, right? So it's like out in the country, so it'd be nice to kind of get away from the city, like downtown Ottawa, and then just go hang out at the butcher shop. I do miss like with Ottawa, like there is a lot more, I guess, options like in regards to like maybe networking in the city,
Right.
Like probably a lot more private gigs that are going around for bartenders and chefs.
Okay.
And I will say the food scene in Ottawa, like there's cocktail or drink scene, food scene, I find separate there. Like the food scene there, is one of my favorites. I wouldn't say maybe like the bartending scene wouldn't be one of my favorite scenes, but the food, like the chefs there are like fantastic. Like one of my favorite places is Riviera on Spark Street.
Okay.
Jordan Hawley's the chef there, and Stephen Flood. Like his cocktail menu is great, but I miss like just like going out for like crazy meals there, because they're like there's a lot of, again, like I said, like great chefs. So yeah, that's probably what I missed, and that's pretty much it. You can't really, you can go to a lake out there, but you can't
Right.
can't go to an ocean.
Yeah, and it's like you said, it's funny you mentioned it because it's one of the things that really attracts people. If you look it up, it's like 20 minutes in any direction, you can get to the ocetion.
Yeah.
like that's like the pull. That's like
And that's not the case in
not in
anywhere
Ontario.
anywhere in Ontario.
Yeah. I heard you mention, I wasn't aware that you guys kind of were in the butcher industry. And I'm a hunter too, so I've butchered some animals. And
Oh yeah, you're
yeah,
saying,
you mentioned deer. I'm a big hunter, although not the most successful one. I'm working on that.
yeah.
I started off doing more waterfowl and like bird hunting, and
Oh, amazing.
kind of migrated into that. But anyway, I digress. I'm always interested because I feel like, a pretty hardworking guy. Like I see at jiu-jitsu putting in the time, you're always, whether it's working at the bar, you're doing construction, or, are you still doing that?
No, that was like during
That was
COVID.
the summer
I was
thing.
yeah, it was literally jackhammering a wharf in Dartmouth for
Right, I
like
remember that.
6 months. It was terrible because
Yeah.
like all the bars kept going like shutting down. So I was
Yeah.
like, I got to do something. But
Of course.
yeah, no, I wouldn't stick in construction. But I did contracting, and I learned a lot of like skills. But
Yeah.
that was like that's
Value added.
good enough for me. And yeah, I think forever I'll be in the hospitality industry one way or the other.
Yeah, but just to run on that, skill-wise, do you find like a lot of your work ethic and like, ability to kind of get in and just absorb kind of how things are done? Like, do you think like that was a big value at your grandparents' butcher shop?
Oh, absolutely. Like my mother, her sister, and my uncle, like right when they were 8 years old, they got put to work, and then they did the same thing. My grandparents did the same thing to me. Sometimes I hated it, but like sometimes, like just seeing my grandfather's, like they've owned the butcher shop for like 55 years now. My grandfather still wakes up and butchers deer, and to this day.
How
like,
old is he?
He's 66.
Awesome.
So, but like
Just getting after it.
I know, and just like no, but that definitely like taught me work ethic, and like didn't like I used to have to like empty like all the bone and flesh bins like out back when they're like fermenting, and like
Oh, yeah.
I'd open up
Putrid.
I'd
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
puke. I'm like, God damn it! But like and then there's a dirty job in a restaurant, and they're like, I don't want to do that. I'm like, I'll do
Yeah,
it. I'm
all
like,
day, baby. You don't
Yeah.
even know what I've done.
yeah, exactly. But, absolutely. If I didn't grow up in the butcher shop, like, and started working at like a young age, like I definitely wouldn't have had like the work ethic I have now.
Yeah.
Just because like my grandparents would always say like if you don't work hard, I'll kick your ass, kind of thing. Like, so I'm just like, yeah, yes, ma'am, yes, sir. Like,
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds very synonymous to my upbringing. Although I didn't work in a butcher shop, I worked in the back of a boat with Dad.
because was that lobster?
Lobster fishing.
Yeah.
We grew up
Which is
commercial
hard
lobster
work.
fishing.
Which I heard is hard work too.
Yeah, it's long hours, early mornings, and working with Dad. I mean, love the guy. He was hard to work for.
Yeah,
But if you didn't work, you didn't get paid.
exactly.
And guess what? A lot of times we were 6-8 hours from land.
Oh, really? Oh, like
At the peak of it, when Dad was really pushing at the tail end of his career, it would take us 6 to 8 hours just to get to the grounds. I'd have to take a turn sailing the boat,
yeah.
and man, it was tough. And if you couldn't do it, like you go sit in the bow of the boat and not get paid.
Probably freeze too. It's probably cold out there too if you're not moving.
Oh well, I mean, these people live out in these things. They're people are driving around these like $1 million boats. Like, they're well equipped, full appliances.
Oh, okay, never
like,
mind. I'm thinking-
like crown molding. Like it ain't no slouch setup.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
If you're 6-8 hours offline, like some days we didn't come home.
Oh, you just hang out. And
We just
go
hang
overnight?
out, shut the gear off, put the radar on so the big freight liners can see
Oh, I see.
where
okay.
we're at on the radar. And you'd wake up in the morning, flick everything back on, start her up, and then you just look on your GPS how far you drifted, and you just went back to the next string of pops.
Where was this around Cape? Not Cape Breton, but like or what?
If you want to look up like the German bank, sorry, not the German bank. You know what? It's been a little while, so people, if they're listening, they're lobster fishermen. It'd be like if you look on the map, it'd be like halfway to Maine-ish, like
Oh, I see.
way out there.
Like Lunenburg.
Well, I grew up down South Shore, Yarmouth County, so if you look at like the southwestern tip of Nova Scotia, just like straight line it down towards the States.
Oh,
basically.
yes, okay.
George's Bank, Brown's Bank, it's coming back to me now. But
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's quite a poke to get out there. So yeah, it just kind of reminds me, kind of synonymous of like our upbringing seemed like they were pretty similar. It was
Absolutely,
like, get in there, you're working, you're learning. If you don't work hard, we're probably going to tell you.
Yeah, exactly. No. And in their family, too, they're going to be harsh. Like, you know.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah. I mean, there was a high standard of performance and expectation for sure.
Absolutely.
And, I mentioned it before, but it's like my grandfather always said, like, if it's worth doing, it's worth doing right.
Yep.
So, and that's kind of, how I've lived today. So, yeah, man, that's awesome. It's always nice to kind of get to know another little couple tidbits about you.
Absolutely.
I mean, we've known each other for years, but I never knew that you had that kind of butchering experience, which is super cool. So, yeah, let's talk about kind of the main thing we wanted to promote here. You partnered up with a few people. You guys got an awesome new bar opening up.
Yes, yeah, Palm Tree. So my friend Meech, we had been working on it. He took over the other bean on or the space of the other bean on Quimpool, and we tore it apart and just like put a new bar in, and just like really changed the space. It's really cool. So it's gonna be like a Caribbean style rum bar because he's from Bahamas, and he asked me to be the bar manager. So I was like really happy to take on this new kind of project. And I think it's gonna be a really cool spot to. I think hopefully it's gonna be busy, obviously, but the point is like. Where you could walk in on like a winter day and feel like you're in the Bahamas, or you can kind of forget about you're in Halifax.
Yeah, have a little tropical getaway.
Yeah, exactly.
For an hour or two on Quimpool.
And it's crazy being living in Halifax, and like we're so rum oriented. Like we're like a lot of Nova Scotians love the rum, drink a lot of rum, but there's no like rum. Like a bar that's like a rum bar.
Dedicated rum bar.
Yeah, so we're gonna be the first rum bar in Nova Scotia. Which is pretty cool. So we'll see how that people kind of if they are like how they take to it. But no, I think it's gonna be great, and I can't wait to see you and your wife come to the soft opening.
Yeah. No, I'll definitely be there. Would love that. So what do you guys have like a few like key cocktails that you might be looking to do or?
Yeah, well, I just finished the last cocktail on the menu yesterday. And yeah, we have like I made a 10 cocktail list or 10 drink list. I can make you kind of one of them today too, if you want. That's why I brought the glasses.
Yeah, people are probably wondering, why don't we just get right to that? And we'll
for sure.
Have a little taste.
Well, should I just take the headphones off?
Yeah,
quick?
probably.
Okay.
Yeah, be good. You can just take it.
Oh, so we're taking the headphones off,
right?
All right.
Probably want to take it off, just because it's going to be noisy, right?
Yeah, exactly.
In your ears.
All right.
Yeah, you can move everything.
Perfect.
The master at work.
Yeah, no, we're using a lot of like cool, like tropical, like ingredients too. Like have you ever heard of soursop?
No.
It's like I just kind of learned about it. It's like a fruit from the Caribbean. It's like a kind of like a prickly fruit, but I guess they now sell like juice at like Superstore.
Okay.
But it's really cool. It's like a mix between like kind of melon and lime, and it's like very floral. But we're just using Bacardi white rum here. It's gonna be kind of like a daiquiri style cocktail.
Right.
And yeah, so we're gonna have a lot of like tropical juices there. Like we're using guava, we're using mango, soursop.
Nice.
So you can pour this without spilling.
That's all right. We can clean it up.
Oh. What's next? Got lime juice. Then we have a little bit of falernum. Falernum's like a heavily spiced syrup. Using a lot of like tiki drinks. So a lot of clove, star anise, ginger, lime. Ooh.
I always notice there's like a skill to these pours.
Well, yeah, you just don't want to be like so. Here, I want to get that. It's all messy. So yeah, when you're pouring, you kind of want to cut off the stream, like you're talking like that.
Yeah. You guys.
So there's no like kind of drip.
Like I make drinks. There's no like finesse to it. It's just like put the drink Put the rum in the drink and the mix.
I call it like I hate flair bartending, but it's like functional flair.
Right.
So it's like kind of in between like ergonomic and like, again, functional. So you're not making a mess, or it's a little more, it saves a lot of time. I brought some cold draft ice as well.
Oh, wow.
I'll scoop this. Here we go. Grab your glass there, Chris.
Awesome. Yeah, let's do it.
Perfect.
Right? Watch the lights. No. I'm just kidding.
I can assume this is your first drink of the day?
It is my first drink of the day.
Perfect. Ooh.
Wow.
Perfect. Awesome.
That's beauty. Beauty.
I just have a little fresh bay leaf on the side as well.
Yeah, man, I just started experimenting with that in a few. I like to cook, actually, so it's funny you mentioned you're into culinary stuff prior to. So I always like to be. I like to cook wild game and different things. Just watch the cord; you don't swipe the drinks off. Well, thanks so much, man.
Yeah, I was gonna actually talk to you about that too. If you want to like. Ooh, I built like a fire pit in the backyard at the house.
Yeah, you said out of oyster shells, right?
Yeah, there's oyster shells like surrounding it, but like you can like. When I worked at the Inn at Bay Fortune, cheers.
Cheers, buddy. Thanks a lot. Thanks for coming.
Well, thanks for having me on.
Coaster stuck with the drink.
Boom.
Oh, that's nice.
You like it?
Yeah, I was scared when you asked me if we want to just sip rum. I was like, man, Thursday afternoon.
No, I know. I was like, I luckily I had time this morning to run to the bar and grab some ingredients. But you ever want to like this summer like cook over open flame? We can do it in the backyard, and if you like, even if you if you get a deer one day, yeah, we could definitely like. Have you ever seen like they do like the kind of the cross where they open up the animal like they do with like lambs, and they yeah that'd be cool to do in the summer too.
All day, man.
Splash it with salt and mezcal.
Yeah, that sounds delicious.
Because usually they have like salt water and they'll season it like that, but we could put like salt water and mezcal and like throw it on the animal.
Amazing. You have like the setup to do that?
Yeah, well I have like, I can build the fire that high but we just have to get like some rebar and like.
I got some.
Yeah.
Funny enough, I do.
Yeah, you do. Okay, yeah, perfect. Yeah, so yeah, we're all set up for them, yeah.
Man, I can't wait. Yeah, so hunting. You have some interest in hunting, eh?
Yeah, like I've been a couple times with, because my, growing up at the butcher shop, we were one concession over from the Six Nation Reserve.
Right.
So like they can hunt, like the indigenous there can hunt all year round.
Yeah, for sure.
So my grandpa would always have like, they always brought the deer to my grandparents' butcher shop.
Oh, that's good.
So they take him hunting every year, and sometimes I've went before too. Just like not hunting myself, but like in the, in the group where they go hunting. But yeah, I've always been interested in going hunting. I would definitely like get how long does it take to get your hunting license? So like,
honestly, man, like I think it's just a matter of if you look online and you look up like firearms acquisition license and hunter's safety, or they call it your wildlife resources card now. I think you can kind of do it in a kind of a weekend.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like you can either do the firearms one day, and then the like the hunting permit, which is the wildlife resources card, which allows you to buy hunting licenses. Mm-hmm. So you need both. You need the firearms permit and the wildlife resource card. I think my father just did it because he let all his cards go and didn't renew them. And he just redid it. And I think he could do Saturday, Sunday, kind of like a dual course.
Okay, cool.
And just get it kind of one and done. Now, you might have to get on a wait list to get local, or you might have to, travel a little bit. Maybe like half hour to Windsor, because it's all done through like NSCC, different places.
Yeah.
But it's not expensive, and it's not really that time consuming, and you don't really have to study for it. Like it's pretty, like don't point the gun at someone.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah. You're like, oh,
point
really?
it at the ground.
Yeah. No, for
Check
sure.
that there's no ammo in it.
Yeah.
Don't shoot at stuff if you don't know where you're shooting. Like,
straightforward stuff. Yeah.
It's like you think so. But
it's just to weed out
But you think it's straightforward, but man, like 2 years ago, me and my buddies were out goose hunting in West Chesapeake, East Pepeswick, one of those places.
Yeah.
Down the eastern shore, and like some young guy shot at us.
What?
Yeah, man, we were all set up, and we had all these decoys. And if people don't know what decoys are, they're fake geese. And we were using a style of decoy called a silo sock, which is essentially like, the airport flags that like with the red stripes, and they catch the wind, and you can tell what direction the wind's coming. Picture that painted like a goose, and then it's kind of got like I say cardboard sounds cheap, but they're built better than that, like a felt goose head.
Yeah.
And then like the back part is like the flag or whatever.
Oh, I
the
see.
silo
Okay.
sock.
Catching the air yeah.
Exactly. So keep in mind, we have like 50 of these.
Okay.
It's windy like as fuck.
Yeah.
They're all pointing the same way. Like the sock is all pointing the same way. So anybody that knows anything about goose hunting knows that just doesn't happen naturally. All the geese ain't going to have their butts pointing the same way.
Yeah.
They're going to be walking around. They're going to be making noise.
Oh, so he should have just realized, like,
Right.
oh my God, there's 50 geese.
Exactly. So we were like set up on the shoreline. It was low tide, and there was still like, 30, 40 feet of water in the canal. And like he was in this little mud cake out further than us, and you could see he kind of popped up, and he was like, whoa. Look at all these geese. Like, you could tell that's what was going on in his mind. He starts, like, army walking with his gun over the water, and I'm going with my buddies. I was like, this guy's going to come over and take a shot at us. They're like, Chris, you're crazy.
Oh, you saw him come. It wasn't, like, out of the blue. Like,
no, I seen it coming. And I was like, I'm just going to, like, get up and, like, yell so he doesn't, like, do it.
Or
and he's like, they're like, no. Like, he knows they're decoys, man. Like, you're good. Next thing, he shoulders that gun. He let 3 shots go before, like, we all lost our minds.
Yeah.
And, the poor guy just, like, ran away. Like, ran away.
Say, like, no, sorry.
No, because he knew how upset, like, we just got shot at. I mean, like, from, like, he was pretty close. Like, he wouldn't, like, the shotgun, like, it's for people that don't know what a shotgun shell
It wasn't a buck,
like,
it was a pellet.
Right, it's little pellets. Like, they did, like, pepper our blind, and, like, if it would have hit us in the eye, probably would have been awesome. But there were holes in our gear, like.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't
shit.
It wasn't great. It wasn't great.
No.
And I was like, it's like he wasn't going to shoot at us, eh?
Yeah.
It's like, good call, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm the dummy, right? Circling back to the cooking piece and cooking on fire, at my bachelor party before the wedding, my buddy Clayton, one of my best friends, he showed up. I didn't know anything about it. Garrett, his brother did, and the whole crew did an awesome job. It was probably one of the best days, between that and the wedding, post-pandemic, like, top 10 best times for sure. Mm-hmm. Anyway, they bought like a whole side of beef, and like the Airbnb they had rented for us, they were like, yeah, we got a barbecue. So like, perfect. We get there. Well, it's not a real barbecue. It's, those box fire pits with the grate for camping.
Yes, yeah.
That's what they had.
It
was up on the patio on a big spit, and was kind of like, waist level. And I'm like, man, like, boys, like, what are we going to do with all this beef? We ain't got no barbecue. Clayton comes out. He's got this special knife that he's already sharpening up. And he's like, man, don't worry about that. I got this. Started stoking that thing with a couple pieces of kindling, and he cooked the best steaks I've ever ate.
Over an open flame. Yeah.
Just the taste, and he has this whole, he's a big cook too. And he gets super into it, and I love it. He brought this whole, like, because he's got a system for everything, right? Mm. Same thing he does, like, pho.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah, he does that from scratch, and he's got a system. You can't do it, he's got to do it. So he just, like, you just put him there, and you just let him do. And, man, he had this special spice mix. He cut the steaks a certain way, and you try to help him. He's like, no, I got it. Don't worry about it. And, man, I think it'd be unanimous, and I think there was like 12 of us. It was like we couldn't get enough. We ate the whole beef, like it was like steak every day.
That's a lot of meat.
That's like a lot of meat.
Like a half fucking cow.
Yeah, man. I think they got it at Costco or something, or
Really? It was
Yeah.
it was like a quarter.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah. I
okay.
say side. It wasn't like a full.
Sorry, I was like, Costco
not the
fucking
full
sells that?
side.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
Jesus.
yeah. Side of beef, but it was like a chunk of meat. Like
No,
this.
for sure, yeah.
Not the whole, half a cow.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking. Because when my grandpa would be like, oh, we have some quarters of beef to bring in. You have to like hook it and throw it over your shoulder.
Oh, yeah.
Was it a big like ribeye roast, like a strip loin thing?
Yeah,
Yes,
I think that's
okay.
what it was.
Yeah.
You just, we were doing like nice cuts.
Yeah. That makes sense because I'm like, that would take so long to cook, like a fucking
Man.
quarter of beef.
Yeah, you'd have to have it on the spit, like
Yeah.
we had at my wedding, right?
Oh,
Did you guys
yeah.
have some?
Oh, yeah.
Some of the pig,
Yeah, there's mac and cheese. Was mac and cheese? And
gourmet mac and cheese,
Yeah.
pig roast, and I forget, man, but it was great. I think
we each took me, Mona, and Lauren took turns like tagging out. They were
Good.
Like,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
no,
yeah.
but we were just like wolfing it down and like come back and like bartend more.
good. I'm
But
glad.
it was amazing.
Yeah, I don't even remember. Anyway, by the end of it, I was just like, hopefully everybody's got what they need.
Oh no, I think everyone was happy.
But yeah, we wanted to make sure that all the people that were there for us were fed and taken care of, and the band, same thing. They didn't pay for a drink. I mean, by the end of it, I don't know how many people really did, because I think my old man was sitting there just paying for everybody's booze.
Well, by the end, I think we were just you were just like throwing like $100 or I'm like, all right, kid. I'm just like sick.
Right.
I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, by the end of it, I was like, well, what are we going to do? Take all this home?
Well, I mean, you could have, but you're like, but it
What's the
might
fun in that?
Exactly. Yeah, it was good that, and I think everyone was probably took a little break from drinking a couple of days after the wedding. So.
Oh, buddy. I've probably number one worst hangover I can remember.
Really?
Oh.
Yes.
But,
No.
I mean, I did it to myself. But,
No, for sure.
Yeah, but man, it was a great time, and I know we spent a lot of time talking about my stuff, wedding here, but Mona and this is Lauren, right?
Yeah.
So where are they two? Are they going to be coming in to help you guys out at all? Can we expect to see them at the palm tree, or you guys got already a kind of dedicated crew between you and Meech?
No, literally, it's going to be a pretty like skeleton crew. Like, it can be me, Meech, and maybe two other people. We're just going to see it's hard to tell opening up a new place, especially that size. We're going to be like, we're going to see the first week, be like, okay, do we need an extra person or two? But maybe Mona might come maybe one day a week potentially. But Mona's crushing it right now. He just won a cocktail competition, but he's at Dear Friend,
Right.
bartending there. Lauren works at TD Bank. She took a little
She
step.
did a little pivot.
Yeah, did a little pivot.
Good for her.
Yeah, but no, she's great. She's always awesome to have like bartending with. Like, she's a hard worker and like very personable, as you
She's
saw.
super cool. Yeah.
But no, they're doing good. But I'm sure they're definitely coming to the soft open, and hopefully Moto will definitely be coming quite a bit. He lives around the corner, I think. So, but I'm sure you'll see them again very soon.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Yeah, definitely got to start with like any new business, minimum viable product, right? You
Yeah, exactly.
can't overhire until you really know what you got.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't need to tell you guys that. I'm sure you're looking at all that good stuff. So.
Yeah, and again, it's hard. It's like kind of not like you can kind of tell it might be a crapshoot, but like I got the bar pretty much set up to be as efficient as it can be. And again, it's going to be small plates too. It's not going to be like you go in for like a $42 like dish, right? Everything's going to be under $15, tapas style, right? So
Nice.
we're going to be dishing out like food and drinks pretty quickly. And
Okay. Did that change a little bit? Because just to dive into that a little bit, I thought when we first spoke, you guys weren't really going to do food, but has that kind of changed a little bit?
I think we weren't going to do like, we were always going to do food, but I don't think we were like being like, we're not going to have like a huge crazy menu.
Right.
Like, it's going to be pretty
Specialized.
It's going to be pretty like very casual and like,
More appies and like kind of shareables.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's going to like Caribbean style tapas. So like, again, everyone like, we want everyone to sit down, enjoy a drink, have, and share a lot of food and like enjoy the environment.
Do you have any like examples of like what would a tapas style food?
Well, tapas kind of originated from Spain, right? Like there's tapas bars and all over.
Treat me like a blank slate. Like I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. So like a tapas, like the concept of like a tapas bar came from like Spain. So pretty much you go in to somewhere, wherever in Spain you are, and I forget where's the most popular tapas place.
Just make sure you got that mic.
Where's the most?
You can move it too if you want.
Oh shit. Okay. Why am I drunk? There's a very popular food city in Spain where I'm going to kick myself in the ass for not remembering right now. But pretty much you go. Me and you went into the tapas bar. We'd order a glass of wine or a beer, and then without even ordering food, they would just send out food to you just for ordering a drink with no cost. Like they just constantly send you out small dishes. It's crazy. It's like I can't wait to. Spain's on my list, but in this sense, like obviously, like we're not going to send you food, but like just by ordering a drink, but like small plates that you're going to go in, have a drink and share. And it's more, we want everyone to care about, the food and drink, but like we want everyone to like enjoy the music, the vibes. Yeah. So I think it's either going to go, well, we want people to, hang out, but like I think people are going to come in for a quick drink and a snack, or they're going to come in and hang out for like 6 hours, which is good. Like either or is good too. Like, so it's gonna be cool to see how it pans out. And then in the summer, we're redoing the back. Have you been to the Other Bean before?
Pardon me?
Have you been to the Other Bean?
Well, I just met you guys out front there that one night. We did the bottle exchange for the giveaway we did a little earlier in the year. So I never had the opportunity, but I'd love to kind of get a tour.
Absolutely, no, for sure. Yeah, I'm gonna be there next 2 weeks, like every single goddamn day. But
the grind is real.
It is, yeah. But in the back, there's like a patio that's like kind of enclosed, but it's not like fully enclosed, I guess. So we're gonna
put a roof on that.
There's a roof on the side. There's like the parking lot, but like like a fence. I don't know, but we're gonna enclose it and then like renovate it in the summer and call it the Flamingo Lounge.
Oh.
Yeah, so
you're going to put some flamingos out there?
It's going to be like a pink lounge that we're going to have like a grill back there too. So it's going to be cool. So it's, I'm very excited for it to open, but it's never good to like be like, okay, we're opening this exact date, because you never know what could happen. Like we got our ice machine in last week and it was dented. Some form of damage happened to it during delivery. We're like, oh, fuck. So hopefully we're getting it today or another one today or tomorrow. But things always happen with restaurants, like where you're like, well, this is the date we want to open. Then picture that date, then it's like 2 months later.
Man, you think it's bad in restaurant business. You think real estate's anywhere.
No, I know, exactly, yeah.
You're always waiting on somebody, waiting on something.
Yeah.
Or the other agent, or the other sellers, or the buyers.
Or the lawyer, or whatever.
So I get it, man. Like that sucks. But when's the technical anticipated, the soft open that I'm going to be attending?
Yeah.
Is? This is a kind of closed. Sorry.
Yeah. Within let's say within the next 2 to 3 weeks.
And the targeted opening for the public?
Let's just say end of the month.
End of the month?
Yeah. But again, I'm not going to be like, oh, it's going to be March 26th. Right. Like, it just like, we're just slowly, we never want to put stress on us and like, get people too excited. Like, hey, we're fucking putting this on our calendar. So as we kind of move forward, like you'll kind of know more and more, and like all like our close friends will know more.
Right.
Well, like our close friends will know more about the soft opening, and then the public will probably know later on when the grand opening is. So, but we have a lot of cool things going on there, and I can't wait for everyone to hopefully enjoy all the cocktails.
No, absolutely, man. I'm looking forward to it. I always like one thing I was telling people, like I like to drink, but not like I used to.
Yeah.
Like for me, this is like a social thing.
Yeah.
Like it associates now with like seeing my friends, seeing, hanging out, having a good time. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. And another thing, do you have any ideas of like some staple, like tapestry?
Staples,
like maybe like your top 3 dishes you think are going to be a hit, or do you have you put any much thought into that?
I think there's going to be so how it's going to work is in the morning or from 12 to 4, it's still going to be like a sandwich shop.
Yeah.
But it's going to be called Palm Tree Kitchen. So there's some like really cool like sandwiches he's going to have on there. I probably won't be working the cafe side of things, but we shut down for an hour or two and then we flip to the tapas bar.
Prep and do all that.
There's a jerk chicken sandwich that I'm excited to try, and we're gonna have jerk wings. What else are we gonna have? Plantain fried chips, and Well, there's one more thing I'm trying to think, and there's like a Johnny cake, which is like
What is a Johnny cake?
Johnny cake is like a Caribbean, like I think it's mostly from the Bahamas, but it's like this. Like our friend Ambrose used to be the head chef at Lot 6, makes this crazy. It's like it's on the sweeter side of like cornbread. Like,
I love cornbread,
but it's so much better than cornbread.
Is it?
Oh my god, it's so
don't
good.
tell me.
Yeah. So again, yeah. So and we're gonna have like rum flight list too, and
You have a flight of rum drinks?
well, like so you can go in
Because
and
you do the beer flights.
you do beer flights, but you can go in and be like, hey, I want to try it. Like, we're gonna have like the Jamaican experience, the plantation experience, which is like plantation rum is from Barbados mostly. So you can be like, hey, I want to try 3. Like you can pick 3 out of like the 5 we'll probably list, and then you can get like 3 ounces or 1 ounce, 1 ounce, 1 ounce of like we bring over the flight. It'll probably come with like some chips or something. Nice. Yeah, so if you want to try like talk to me or talk to whoever about rum, you can try different like regions, like because rum comes from all over the Caribbean, Cuba, Puerto Rico, Barbados, Bahamas, like so it'd be cool. It's cool to see like different styles of rum from different areas in the Caribbean and all that. So we're going to be offering that as well. My favorite cocktail that will be on the menu, I think, is going to be it's going to be called Pink Flamingo. It's going to be similar to like it's going to be like a sour cocktail, so it's going to have egg whites in it. There's going to be soursop in it and
This is a little sour.
Yeah, like sour meat. So a traditional sour cocktail, they use egg white.
Okay.
Like when they have the foam. On
Really?
top, like
That's what the foam is?
yeah, bourbon sour. If you've had a bourbon sour at a bar and it's like that white foam, it's egg white. Now people use chickpea juice, which is called aquafaba. It's like excess. Like if you open up a can of chickpeas and you're supposed to drain it. So that the stuff that drains off is called aquafaba. It's a egg white replacement. Some bars are using that as well.
Really?
You treat it like egg white in a cocktail, but we just got a stencil, like a flamingo stencil. So I'm gonna spritz it with some bitters. So on top of this egg white cocktail, and it's gonna be in this glass. It's gonna be like a pink flamingo on top that you can like see. So
Really?
that's our like signature cocktail, like because our logo is like a palm tree and a flamingo.
Yeah, naturally, I think that makes sense.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So I maybe I over.
No, I'm just giving.
I'm like, wait, does this make sense?
Yeah,
I'm like
it
looking
makes
at you, I'm
sense.
like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, man.
But no,
Absolutely.
yeah. So, but again, things may change with like a couple of menu items, but everything's pretty locked in, and we just need to finish up some loose ends, and then yeah.
Yeah, just to reiterate, in case people didn't get kind of the memo, this is a exclusively rum bar, correct?
Yeah, so if you go in and be like, hey, I'll get a vodka soda, I'll be like,
Or Coors Light, be like, no.
we won't be. We are serving like local beers.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Local beers, and
I take that back.
and like a pretty cool wine list as well. But
Okay.
as far as spirits,
No other spirits except rum.
we'll have like no. So like there'll be other spirits like in the cocktails. Like there's a blend of like a gin blend with rum that But if you want, we're not gonna have like other spirits on the back bar. It's me rum and like maybe Campari and Aperol. Like we call those like modifiers. But what was I gonna say? Yeah. So if someone comes in, they're like, "I'll get a vodka soda." I'm like, "Sorry, you can have." Even though we'll probably have vodka under the bar because I use it for infusions and stuff.
You're right.
I can be like, "Sorry, you can have a rum and soda."
Yeah, hey.
Right? Or like if someone's like, "I'll take."
You mean a vodka soda? No, sorry, rum soda.
Rum
I'm
soda.
getting mixed up.
Yeah, but like, yeah, I can't wait for people's reaction. It'll be like, maybe it's just, I don't know, maybe it's a shitty thing for me to say, but like people's reactions being like, I'll do a gin and soda, be like, sorry, you can have a rum and soda, and they're like, either gonna laugh and be like, all right, okay, I'll take a rum and soda, or they're gonna be like, all right, I'm out. Like,
So just on that, I was just kind of come to me now, and like if you don't know, you don't know, and that's cool. Where it's going to be exclusively a rum bar, like did you guys do some research into like, how many people kind of like rum in kind of the area?
not even in the area, or like we just know that Nova Scotia, like for the longest time ever, like has been like a rum oriented.
Murdering the rum.
Yes, well, and that, I mean like
Highest rum consumption
There we go.
per capita.
Yeah. So, but
Most of it's down Southwest Nova where I grew up.
probably lamb. They're probably drinking lamb's rum.
Captain Morgan.
Captain Morgan, yeah, and we do have Captain Morgan there, which is actually It says USA on the bottle, but it's from Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah. Me and the captain have made it happen a few
Yeah,
times.
yeah. You know what's funny? Actually, the part I
Can't play with him anymore though. I'm done. I'm
well,
out.
we'll see when you come in.
Right?
No.
Just don't tell me he's in the drink.
So no, like no, but when the whole like commercials.
Oh, buddy, I know it well.
So when I lived, so there's a brief year I lived in Whistler between Halifax and bartending. I went up there to go be a big bartender at the Fairmont, but it was
Yeah,
just
you had to make it.
It's just but it was like the worst decision of my life. It was just a ski bum town. Like it wasn't a cocktail oriented, but I met one of the guys I worked with. He was the captain for a year as like a promotional thing. So he worked for Captain Morgan. Like he was like they dressed him up as a pirate and sent him to bars.
He was the captain.
He was the captain. I met the captain.
Man.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Is he a pretty good guy?
He actually he has like dark hair. He looks like you throw a pirate suit on him. He looks like Captain Morgan.
Is he related to Jack Sparrow?
I hope not. But no, it was pretty funny that you mentioned that. But so I met the captain, but
That's cool, man.
Yeah, but no, I'll make sure you have some good rum when you come in.
Oh, I never doubt you for a second. Always a good time. So yeah, man. I think that's probably a good place to kind of wrap things up.
Sure,
we
yeah.
kind of did like 45 minutes here.
Was it 45 already?
Yeah. I think we're pretty close there. So, where can people find you? Like on social media, especially for the Rum Bar, or if they want to contact you for any bartending services or inquiries?
So you can look up on Instagram. It's Mezcal Keys, and the Rum Bar is _ Palm Tree Kitchen. That's our main Instagram. And then we'll have another Instagram for like all the cocktails that I'm doing at the bar as well. But yeah, those are the two places. And for private, whatever consulting or events or inquiries, just mess me on Instagram.
Slide in his DMs.
Slide in my DMs.
Right?
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, I really appreciate you coming on. I hope you have all the success, and I'll definitely do anything I can to support you guys. And I'm looking forward to seeing what the Rum Bar brings.
And I'll see you at the bar and on the mats.
On the mats, man.